1. What is up, guys? Welcome to the Bay State Media pregame show. We are back with What the Hell is Happening in Sports with Nero as per usual. RJ, Con
Yo,
Ramadan, Ben, you already know all of our teams are playing today. We're going to take a quick look at the Pats game, the Chiefs game, and the Ravens game since we're all here. Take a quick look at the Pats game. This week, Christian Gonzalez is out again, correct? If I'm not
yes.
That's
mistaken.
that's what
Yeah.
I've seen. Yes.
Okay, he is out this week. Jalen Polk has been traded for a 6th round pick. Thank God we got something for him because nothing was ever going to come out of that. Him and Javon Baker. So, with that being said, this week I do have the. If I'm not mistaken, I think I do have the Patriots winning this game. If I remember correctly, um,
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I had them winning 23-10.
I have
So
I have the pass as well.
I had the Patriots win this game 23-10. I did not like the way the Dolphins looked against a pretty lethargic, like a team I thought was going to be pretty lethargic in the Colts. Um, they Colts ended up whooping their ass, and I think that a team with the Patriots defense, the defense that they have, they 100% have a chance to definitely redeem themselves after last week as an offense, and definitely get Stephon Diggs involved, get Hunter Henry involved a little bit more. And if Kayshon Boutte and a couple other people can chip in like they did last week, then yeah, the Patriots can definitely put some points on the board. The defense is definitely capable of stopping that Miami defense as much as the Colts defense was. So we're gonna start with Nero. How do you feel about the Pats game?
This is going to be a get back game for the Pats. Naturally, the Dolphins are missing their starting right tackle and their starting right guard. So the whole right side of the line is decimated right now. You're going to have 2 backups in there. What they have to do, just like how they did last week, is take advantage of that right side. Harold Landry should have a good game. Even if he doesn't get another 2.5 sacks, at least him putting pressure to set up guys like Milton Williams and Christian Barmore and even Caleb Von Chasen, that should help. They also should take advantage, offense-wise for the Pats. They should take advantage of the Dolphins' cornerbacks. Hopefully, guys like Stephon Diggs and Kayshon Boutte get right. Added Hunter Henry in the mix as well. The passing game should open up a little more, but mostly you want to see much more from the running game. You want to see Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson pound the rock when they can. Hopefully in goal line situations they can actually get in the end zone this week. Let's see if that can occur. But overall, this is a get-right game for the Patriots. The Dolphins right now, they're in a little bit of a rut. There's a lot of uncertainty right there. I don't know if these guys really want to play for Mike McDaniel as much as they did the last couple years. So everything's all in shambles right now in Miami. They're going to Miami. It rained yesterday during the South Florida Miami game, so maybe you might see a little weather play into it. But regardless, Pat's got to get a win. I said I think in our pregame show early in the week, I said 27-17. I'm gonna stick to that. Should be a get right game for the Pats.
Absolutely, I do agree. Good take. Good take. Con man, how we feeling about the Pats game this week?
So, I agree with Nero's take. I feel like this is a get back game. However, I am a little worried about the defense because we've had issues with the Dolphins in the past, and it is in Miami. But all in all, I still have a 28-14 game.
28-14. I like it. I like it. Absolutely. RJ, how we
Yo.
feeling about the game this week?
I honestly don't feel great about this game at all. One, we're down in Miami. Patriots have never played well down in Miami, even when Brady was still here. Like, we've always struggled in Miami. We honestly should win this game. Like, Miami looked way worse than we did last week. But to like the players, pretty much Morgan Moses is healthy. He should be playing today. So our same offensive line as last week. But Stephon Diggs, we honestly got to see more out of him. And Booty, I think Booty is just kind of Drake May's security blanket. You kind
Oh
of saw
yeah,
it last
absolutely.
year, and you kind of saw it a bit in week 1. So if we can get those 2 guys going, and honestly, I really want to see less of Stevenson. I want to see Trayvon Henderson getting the ball more.
I trust
Yeah, he is.
Henderson
He is
very
slated to get
well.
the ball a lot more this week.
Yeah,
He's
because
slated for more touches.
I honestly just don't trust Ramondre Stevenson anymore. I have no trust in him.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to. I was high on him. He was definitely a guy I thought that could contribute. He definitely has contributed before, so I didn't think that that would be an issue. But it seems to be
Yeah,
that he's having trouble contributing to the team in a way that we need him to. But Ben, how you feeling about the Patriots game? And then right after the Patriots game, we can get into your team, the Baltimore Ravens, as they are playing the Browns this week.
I think like Nero and Connor were saying, I think this is obviously a get back game for the Patriots. You cannot have a performance like you did against the Raiders, against the Dolphins this time. You cannot have this performance again.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously have to go back and be better out there. So I think they can do that. I'll go with a Pats win 26-17.
Absolutely, yeah, I like the take. How do you feel about the Ravens game? How do you feel about your team this week?
Okay,
Although
let's
it seems like an easy game, but it
yeah.
is kind of a game that
We lost
it's
against them last year.
yeah,
This is not. I'm not taking it for granted. It just is being tough game. Let me just say that anything could happen. The Browns, they played too bad last week, so
mhm,
obviously there's that, and the Ravens scoring 40 points and still losing to the Bills. Hurt.
right.
So obviously they could. I would hope they could come back better. Now we don't have Joe Alexander. It's not specified why, but he's inactive for today. So I'm hoping
Right.
the defense will be fine. It should be fine. So I'm going. This is and still with Alexander out, the offense and the defense should be good enough. I'm going with the Ravens win. I said 30-19.
Absolutely, yeah. They looked pretty dominant last week against the Bills, despite the 1 point loss. It was a very very close
Yep.
game. Um, but who do you think is the X factor? I guess we'll go around again, but then who do you think is the X factor this week for the Patriots game?
For me, the Pats. Oh God, go around the table. I have to.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, no problem. Nero, who do you think is the X factor this week?
That's a good question. The X factor for this week. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pick two guys. I'm gonna go offense and defense, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I would say for offense this week, I think the guy who really has to set the tone is
Mhm.
going to be Drake May. I think Drake May really had, his first game last week against the Raiders, it was decent, but you saw rookie with the rookie type of plays that he made last year in terms of passing the ball and putting certain passes in place where guys couldn't really catch it. It was kind of more of a jittery game. I would say for this game this week for him, he has to set the tone, but he has to kind of go out there a lot more confident. He has to trust his receivers. He has to trust his eyes, but most importantly, he has to play a lot more freely. If he
Right.
sees an open lane, he can't think twice to run because Josh doesn't want me to do this. Blah blah blah.
Right.
He wants me to stay within the system. It's okay to play freely because as much as you want to play within the system, you got to be able to get yards. You got to be able to trust your own instincts. If you feel that you can rush for 5 yards and get a first down, go do that. If you feel nobody's open and you see a lane, go take that lane. He has to get as much as he can, everybody he can involved. Use his running backs, but most importantly, he has to have the confidence that he can win this game. So I take Drake May as the X factor. On defense, I'm going to go Robert Spillane. Robert Spillane did not have a great game in week 1. He had 3 tackles. You saw him filling in some run lanes. But even when he filled in those run lanes, a lot of the times Ashton Jeanty was able to break free and get a couple yards when he shouldn't have had to. I think Robert Spillane has to really show why he's a captain and really take command of this defense to try, especially against, again, a Dolphins team that is really in shambles right now. It's up in the air with the vibes over there. If you can take advantage, be the quarterback of the defense, fly off the ball, sideline to sideline as much as he can, the Pats will be able to get a win, but it starts with him commanding that defense.
Absolutely. Yeah, Robert Spillane was my X factor on defense, and then on offense, I definitely think that this week Travion Henderson's going to be the X factor.
Mhm.
Pretty stagnant run game last week. I think that he's definitely going to be an X factor, and I am going to go with 2 X factors, but it's not a second defensive one. I also think Stephon Diggs needs to be an X factor this week, going up against a pretty depleted Dolphins defense and a pretty weak Dolphins defense. I think he needs to definitely be an X factor this week, and it's that veteran presence 100% needs to be felt.
I have my guy,
Yes, indeed.
Drake May. That's all I need to say.
All right, awesome.
Pretty much for the same reason there, which is that he needs to locate his receivers and go for targets.
Absolutely. How you feeling, Connor? Who's the X factor this week?
For me, when it comes to offense, I agree with you, Amari, where I have Stephon Diggs basically for the same reasons. The secondary of the Dolphins is depleted. I'm going to go with a different guy than you. I'm going to go with Hilton Williams. I feel like if we negate the running game of Achane, I think that will definitely help our case. But another defensive guy that I like is Hawkins, Jalen Hawkins, because he had a very solid week last week, and I just want to see him continue that, especially with our secondary being depleted as it is. Just having one guy that's already shown good promise in week 1, if he just continues to do week 2, to show that once we have guys that are hurt coming back, and just showing that we have more than one guy on the secondary that could show up when we need him to, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you start to wonder, if this Patriots team after this week, if this is a bad showing, I think a lot of us will start to wonder what the direction is going to be going forward into week 3 when you are going to have to win a game if you are going to look to win the wild card.
Yeah.
Pat's schedule is relatively easy. I feel like it is a schedule that should be a schedule enough for them to get into the wild card. But a team I'm not we're not going to really dive into this game too deep, but a team I think the Patriots definitely, I know it's week 1, a little bit of an overreaction, but the Colts definitely should not be a team that people should just be overlooking.
Right.
I think that Daniel Jones, who's been to a playoffs with a worse roster and that great defense, and Shane Steichen knows what he's doing over there somewhat to a degree. I think, and Jonathan Taylor, who, if you really want to say, like, yeah, Josh Allen definitely obviously won MVP last year, but there's a strong case Jonathan Taylor could have won MVP last year. So,
Right.
that the Pats should definitely look to win this game and dominate and come out and dominate. Honestly, I want to see the defense dominate. At least if you can put up 20 points on the board, that's great. And if Drake May can get close to 300 yards again and you can put up 21 points and your defense can hold them to 17-10, like that's definitely what you want to see out of the defense, because that's definitely the side of the game that's going to win in the Pats a lot of games this year. But dive into the Super Bowl rematch real quick. Actually, no, Ben, we're gonna go into actually the Ravens game real quick. I do have the Ravens obviously winning this game. I honestly don't think much is to be said. I think Lamar is gonna have a game where he's gonna solidify himself into statistically probably a top 2 place, if I'm not mistaken, as a quarterback in the league. Jordan Love has been playing great. I know I said my MVP was Jaden Daniels. That take is obviously cooked.
Yeah, that's
But my
fucked.
secondary pick on one of the episodes, if those who haven't watched yet, I did also say Jalen Hurts was going to be my secondary, and Jordan Love was a person I would not be surprised that would come out of the woodwork somehow and win that MVP award. So I do think Lamar is going to have a game where he puts himself up into that conversation. It's against the Browns. He is going to be probably running all over the place, being chased by Myles Garrett. But at the same time, I do trust Lamar in his decision making, and his IQ to definitely push the ball down the field against, a Browns defense that definitely shut down pretty much the passing game last week for the most part. But I think that the dynamic run game and the ability to have sweep sets and a lot of motion sets, and a lot of guys are able to catch short passes or RPOs. The offense is a very, very diverse playbook in John Harbaugh's playbook. So I think they're going to open that playbook up against the Browns and see what they can really do. They definitely opened up the playbook against the Bills. They really didn't have a choice coming out swinging in that first game. So I think they definitely look to expound on that, and they're 100% going to expound on that and they're definitely going to put up a lot more points on the board this week. And Lamar will definitely put himself in that air of, are we looking at Lamar Jackson getting his third MVP this upcoming season?
Absolutely.
Nero, how you feeling about the Ravens game?
I'm feeling good. Again, this is also similar to the Pats, where this is truly a get back game for the Ravens. Obviously, a devastating loss last week against the Bills on Sunday night. This is a game where you have one team that's a Super Bowl contender, and you have another team that right now there's uncertainty, especially on the offensive side of the ball. More so, who's really the man to help lead this team to not even just the playoffs, but just to really overall be a team that contends in some way, shape, or form. I know Joe Flacco is leading the charge right now, but Joe Flacco isn't really the answer. The guys behind him, the Dylan Gabriels and Shedeur Sanders, they're guys who should be more the answer for years to come. But but Flacco's in place right now just to kind of at least show them how to be a pro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With the Ravens in general, this is a dominant team. You saw it last week with Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. You know, that offense right there, it's a great offense. They just have to all put it together and and this defense has to come together and just show why they're one of the best teams in the league. This is a team to do it against. You should have no problem with them. You should take care. You should take care of them from the jump. I see this obviously as a Ravens win, and they should be able to put another 30 ball on them. It should be a 35-14 game, maybe even a 35-7 to 7. You know, this defense has to dominate. This Browns team shouldn't take you down to the wire this week. Derrick Henry should be key, but Lamar Jackson has to continue being Lamar Jackson. That's all.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the X factor also, there really isn't much to be said. I think it's just the offense as a whole.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, how you feeling this week about the Ravens, man? How you feeling? Who's your X factor this week?
My X factor, honestly, I'll just go with Zay Flowers. The game he had last week is just, you can't go over that. Literally the best stats as best receiving stats for all of week one. So, and we still lost. That tells you everything. But yeah, if Zay Flowers can do something like that again, it's a good. I would say that, yeah. So I would say Flowers an X factor. If we do player of the game, probably Derrick Henry. Boring but obvious.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty self-explanatory. Con man, how you feeling?
All right.
Boss man.
So this is how I feel about this game. Is like, I think it's going to be a little closer than we think it's going to be. I mean, yeah, it was a shootout for the Bills game when the Ravens played them, but I feel like the defense of the Browns will show up a little more than we expect. I do think the Ravens will still win, but I just have also the other feeling being that Flacco will kind of like show not completely his old self with the Ravens, but I think he'll show that like he's still competent. I mean, he didn't have a great week the first week, but I think he'll have somewhat of a bounce back game. I still think it's going to be like a 30 to like 20 like 3 game. I think it's going to be a little closer than I think, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Lamar, and I feel like the offensive passing game is going to be opened up more a little bit. I feel like Bateman's going to have a good game for the Ravens. Yeah, I think just the running game defensively for the Browns is going to show itself against the Ravens this week. And the ultimate catalyst for the downfall of the Browns this week is going to be their passing defense. Yeah. That's this week.
Absolutely. Yep. 100%. Now, to dive into this game quickly, just before we go, Chiefs versus Eagles. Honestly, dude, I'm just gonna keep it a stack, bro. I just I'm not confident about this game. No Xavier Worthy. No Rasheed Rice. Defense did not look good. Chargers lit us up. I don't feel good about this game. Going against the play against the defending champs who look great against this Cowboys team this first week, who are no slouches, and they have a loaded team themselves on both sides of the ball. Yeah, excuse me, sorry. I can't see us winning this week, dude. Hey, if I'm wrong, shoot, thank God I'm wrong. If I'm wrong this week, but I just don't see us. I see us getting ourselves into a 0-2 hole. Worthy's not playing this week. I highly doubt he's going to play next week, dude. I was in a Chiefs group chat and they were trying to fucking rush this guy to fucking go ahead and play this week, which wasn't happening whatsoever. And a fucking half speed rep video against him running against a trainer with no defender, catching a ball one handed below his shoulder, apparently fucking told Chiefs fans that he was somehow magically going to fucking come back in the next 2 weeks. It's not going to fucking happen. Shit's killing me, dude. How delusional my fan base is getting. But yeah, it's just crazy to think that a lot of Chiefs fans think we're gonna win this game and somehow bounce back. I cannot see this shit happening. So, well, I want to definitely get you guys' thoughts in here before we bounce out of here in about 60 seconds as Red Zone is counting down. For those of you that are gonna join the Discord, join the Discord. Red Zone is up and live in the Discord. Go join up. How are we feeling, fellas? How are we feeling about the Chiefs game?
Honestly, this should be a game just because of how healthy this team is. The Eagles should be able to take it. Obviously, like you said, Amari, Xavier Worthy's not out there. Rasheed Rice is not out there. You know, Patrick Mahomes is dealing with guys besides Hollywood Brown, are dealing with other guys that really, you know, aren't capable of what of doing what the two injured guys are doing and stretching the field and being able to work inside the numbers and in the middle of the field. Those, especially guys like Juju Smith-Schuster, he's a lot older now. Tyquan Thornton still trying to, you know, really be a pro. So you have guys out there that are talented to catch passes, but they're not as talented to really be in the game throughout the whole game and really working the numbers. So this should be a game the Eagles should get right, especially with their rushing attack and their defense. The Eagles should be able to put a 30 ball up, but you can never count out Patrick Mahomes. It should be a somewhat of a close game, but if the Eagles pull away early, we know the reason why. You know, pull away late, we know the reason why. So, yeah.
Yep. How you feel, fellas? Ben, come in.
I feel like it's going to be. I could see a possible 40 ball, but however, I want to be real here and say like 35-20. 35-20.
Yeah.
That's fair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have 33-27 for the Eagles.
Yeah, I do see the Eagles throwing up a 30 ball on us too, man. Yeah, I can see that happening 1,000%.
But I picked up Hollywood Brown for my other league. So.
Yeah, I picked him up in another league too. May as well, you know what I mean? I had Worthy, but I had to sit him.
Exactly the same scenario.
Yeah, I sat him, so I had to pick up Hollywood Brown because he's going to see a majority of the targets with Kelsey. So
I put Worthy on IR, and that's why.
But yeah, guys, awesome! Another edition of the Bay State Media pregame show with What the Hell is Happening in Sports. Shout out Nero for always joining us. Ben, Connor, as a pleasure as always. Straight to Red Zone. Here we go in the Discord. For those who are watching, for those who are going to watch us, go straight to the Discord. If you are watching, we are going to be in there. We're about to be in there right now, watching some Red Zone with you guys. Scott Hansen, 7 hours of Red Zone football because the NFL decided to sell out to Disney. So, unfortunately, we do have commercials. But yeah, love you guys. See you guys in Discord. Peace.
Yep.
Sure.